Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Richie out of Alcatraz. Another Oni Press book. We got Christopher Cantwell and Tyler Crook. Like Tyler Crook's work, I believe he worked on The Sixth Gun and some other stuff that I have. A couple hard copies. I have Harrow County. He did a good job on that. So I picked this up because I heard it was really good. Now, way back when, I guess it was in the 60s, maybe in the 50s. No, I think it had to be the 60s. A few guys escaped Alcatraz. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. But it's funny because as I'm reading this, I'm thinking of them guys who were in that movie as the characters here. It's kind of fun. Very good series. Very well drawn, very well written. I'm not a Christopher Cantwell fan, but so far, I like it. So it starts off after they escape. They're in the water because they always said that. Nah, they just all died in the water. There's no way they could have made it. So they're in the water and trying to paddle to shore, and here they are. Hold on, grab my hand. One of the guys falls out of the boat, and he's gone, just like that. So the other two get away, they wash up on shore, and then they're off. So they had these heads because there were so many counts in Alcatraz prison. So while the inmates were there, they made these heads to fool the guards into thinking that they were laying in bed because they would count in the middle of the night looking the cells, and it worked. So they had a good 10-hour jump on everybody. So they go steal a car, take off. Now, one guy's brother is the guy that didn't make it. So that's kind of throwing a little tension in the air there. So they obviously had this all planned out. And they had clothes and everything. And here's where they see him the next morning when they go and discover the plaster heads. Alarms get sounded. This was supposed to be the fourth guy who couldn't get out of his cell or got too nervous or whatever the deal was. He couldn't make it. Alcatraz is going crazy. They know people escaped. So we go to this mysterious woman. She goes to a P.O. box and gets a gun and some money. Turns out she's the liaison. This artwork is really nice. This is all like watercolor type painting, and he definitely has a distinctive style that's really nice, really easy on the eyes. Great looking car. Guy's very talented, Tyler Crook. So the brother keeps thinking about what had happened, and guess he's bummed out. And here we go, his FBI agents now. They're called to the scene. Now this is a little odd because it turns out these are two homosexual FBI agents and some type of love tryst, and I don't know why that needed to be added to this, but it is. It doesn't detract from the story. It's not pushing any agendas, so the usual checking boxes. Doesn't detract from the story, though. Doesn't make me not want to read it. Just thrown in there for whatever. So he's having nightmares. The convicts are having nightmares. People are starting to notice him in the towns. Like here, where the guy goes into town, he goes and buys candy. Goes to a candy store and he says, well, what are you doing out here? You were told not to do whatever. So he's got marbles, candies, like very childlike. He was planning on sending out postcards. So you would think that if you just escaped from Alcatraz prison, the last thing you should be doing is sending postcards, because they could trace, where they came from. They could start tracking you through there. And in the old days, don't forget, there wasn't cameras on every street corner, cell phone cameras. It didn't operate like it now, where it would be a lot tougher to get away with something like this. So this guy in the alleyway sees them. He thinks they're two homosexuals. And he's just talking to them like, what are you guys doing? And blah, blah, blah. They keep it moving. They go back to the woman liaison. She's like, what are you guys doing, Are you purposely trying to screw this up? So this guy, she had gotten gas. And I guess the guy at the gas station liked her, so he saw her and kind of followed her. Now he comes back into town. Turns out the guy who saw him in the alleyway is also in a bar. And they start BSing and having drinks. And of course they're asking questions and, things you should not be doing when you're trying to lay low. So she is BSing with this guy who is obviously likes her, and he's kind of bothering her. And then we forward to the guy in the bar with the old man who saw him in the alleyway. So he beats him up pretty good, takes his gun, threatens him. Another stupid move, because now the cops are going to be looking. Now this guy they could flash back to her, the liaison. So we still don't know her name. Turns out he's trying to force himself on her. Now he's got her gun. And this is turning into a major ordeal that they don't need to have it. So the two guys are fighting, one of the convicts and the guy. The other guy comes in, blows his brains out. That's great. Look at that. What a great panel. It's a great page. Look at that. That is just fantastic. That red really sells it. Really sells it. That's really good cartooning here. Ooh, then we go to the FBI guys, and they're doing their job and trying to track them down. Then forward to the same bar where those other two guys were. Turns out the guy who fell off the boat didn't die. He's alive, and he's not happy. So he's also, the third convict is also tracking him. The story just got a little more complicated. And that was a nice sized issue. I don't know how many pages it was, but it was pretty thick. It's a nice sized issue. How much was it? $6.99. What? Issue number 2. Now this is a regular sized issue. And man, the colors right out the gate, they look great. So they're cleaning up the mess from the guy who got shot in the head. So nothing is going right for these guys. They're screwing things up on a daily basis. She's getting more aggravated. They dump the car that they were using. They steal another truck, dump that. The third convict's tracking him. He's in the hotel room. He smells bleach, so he knows somebody's been killed in there. He's wondering if it's his brother or not, because the two of the convicts were brothers. And the FBI agents are doing their thing. They're on the beach of Alcatraz. Everybody's saying there's no way they could have lived in that water. No way. But the one FBI agent's just not hearing it. He knows that something's not right. Here's the two FBI agents doing what they're doing. And it's going back and forth between the convicts, the third brother, and the liaison here. The third brother, who was thought to be dead, hops on a train and he meets this hobo. And they're just BSing and traveling back to the FBI agents. Back to the convicts and the liaison now. He's looking at this guy, and because he's kind of not a simpleton, but he's a little slow probably, he's thinking maybe I should just put a bullet in this guy's head. But he doesn't. And sure enough, there he goes out again on the town. Goes to a bank. He's probably thinking about robbing it. This is just great artwork. I really enjoy this a lot. I got to break out that Harrow County. I bought the big one. The big slipcase version. It's got beautiful art in it. So he buys some stamps. He's just wandering around. And sure enough, he gets noticed. Fast forward to the guy and the third brother on the train, talking to the hobo, asking him, where it's going, what's happening. And he decides he's just going to strangle him to death. Because he told him, the story of what's going on, so he had to kill him. So it's just a little odd. Now, this character who noticed the other guy, he's a rancher, shows up holding these two guys down at shotgun point. And when the female liaison comes in, he's demanding, he knows what they're doing, he knows they're wanted, and he's telling them, you're going to kill my wife for me. So, the plot thickens. Now, these covers, I just bought whatever, A, B, C. I think might be a couple second prints. I think it's a popular series, so. Issue number 3. Tyler Crook, again, and he lettered it, too. FBI is questioning people, and there's the guy that originally got beat up in the alleyway, that he had a drink with the guy. So he owns, all the land around town, and he's a big shot, and he's telling the cops, nah, it was some Spanish guy. He doesn't want a rat. I think he wants to handle it with street justice. So the FBI's doing their thing. And here we go back to the rancher. And he's giving them the details about his wife. So the guy the convict who's a little slow, if she's unhappy, you tried making her feel better, like you care about her. And he slaps him in the face. He pimp slapped him. And he's basically threatening them, if you try to tell, I'll say that you're lying, and you're convicts, nobody's going to believe you over me. If you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to call the FBI and get you locked up. So here's the crazy third brother. And he killed another poor guy for his truck. So he's traveling around in a new truck. And he's just dumping bodies, man, wherever he goes. Here's the guy on the train he strangled. That's great. It's almost kind of like Eric Powell. That painterly style that Eric Powell has. I really like that. It must take a long time to do a body of work. I know Tyler Crook has a YouTube channel where he goes live and he shows his process and everything. He's a very talented guy. FBI agents, they don't know what to do. They're trying to figure this out. Now you go back to these three, the liaison and the convicts, and they're debating what they should do. They have the woman in their crosshairs that they're supposed to kill. Poor lady doesn't even know what's up. Third convict goes to the rancher, tracks these guys to the rancher's house, then throws the rancher a beating. The rancher who hired them to kill his wife. The liaison clocks the wife in the head with a rock. And that's the end of issue number 3. So, issue number 4, which is the current in the series. This is the latest one. Here's the maniac brother with the rancher who hired the convicts to kill his wife. He's got her tied up, and he's questioning them, beating on them. And of course, he's going to get all the information that he needs from them. That's great. With that minimal background, the color palette, just like that earthy type, that's really nice. It's unusual for a comic book. To me, anyway. And sure enough, FBI still trying to figure things out. Yeah. So they toss the woman in the trunk of the car, and they start talking to her. The liaison wants to kill her. The convicts don't want to kill her. And they're at some old rundown farmhouse. Nobody around. Looks like a peaceful area. Back to the FBI guys. And they're in between looking for the guys. They're gushing over each other. So they're talking to the lady and they're drinking sodas or whatnot. The woman who they're supposed to kill bashes the slow guy, the slow convict, in the head with a bottle. Crash. So she goes and she's debating whether or not to shoot her. She shoots a round in the air and gets her to stop. She says, "Just kill me, don't send me back to him." So the guy must be really abusive, the rancher. Poor the slow guy gets punched in the face. They tell the woman, the wife, "Get out of here. Disappear. Frank, I don't deserve it too." Poor guy. Now, Frank would have been Clint Eastwood's character. Remember when he beat up the wolf in the yard there? And remember the other convict cut his fingers off in the wood shop because they wouldn't let him paint no more? That was a great movie. I highly recommend it if there's any younger guys who've never seen it. Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. It was in the 70s. It was classic. I would definitely recommend watching that before you read this. It'll give you the backstory of how this came to be. So, FBI, they're closing in, man. They're finding the truck that the third convict, who they thought was dead, killed the guy. Then he set the house on fire for the rancher that wanted to kill his wife. And look at that. That's just really, wow. The body burned, like he burnt him alive in there. I don't know if he killed him or not, but he's burning the whole house down and getting rid of all the evidence. And bam. So, last page. The third convict who they thought was dead. I know it sounds crazy like the way I'm saying it, but that's how I'm keeping it in my head. He finally catches up to him, to his brother and Frank and the liaison. So he says, I'm in charge of this outfit now. Get in. Issue number 5 is in July. Should be soon. Can't wait for that. Let me tell you, great. Really, really good, man. This could possibly be one of the best series of the year. I really like this. It's one of those books where, hey, man, I am dying to see the next one. And this is how comic books should be. And they haven't been like this for a long time, but it's slowly coming back. People are realizing storytelling and art matter. Now, stop with the pushing of agenda. Either way, left, right, I don't care. Don't want to hear either of it in my comic books. I just want to have fun like I did with this. All right, guys. Appreciate you all watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.